President-elect Donald Trump has finished naming his top cabinet nominees, and there's a noticeable pattern across some of them: allegations of sexual misconduct or assault. First, there's Trump's failed pick for Attorney General Matt Gaetz. A woman testified to House investigators that when she was a 17-year-old minor, she had sex with Gaetz at a party. Two other women testified that Gaetz paid them for sex multiple times. Gaetz has denied the allegations. He withdrew his nomination last week, unable to secure enough support as more details surface. But he's not alone. Trump's pick to lead the Defense Department, Pete Hegseth, is accused of sexually assaulting a woman in 2017 in a California hotel room. According to a police report released last week, the woman said Hegseth took her phone and blocked her exit. It was first reported to police by a nurse after a patient requested a sexual assault exam. Hegseth settled with the woman last year, but denies any wrongdoing. There's also Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Trump's nominee to be Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's accused on multiple occasions of groping a 23-year-old woman who once worked for him as a live-in nanny. And Donald Trump himself has been publicly accused of sexual misconduct by 24 women, including forcibly reaching under their skirts and kissing them without consent. Last year, he was found liable in civil court of sexual abuse and defamation. Despite these sexual misconduct allegations, Trump will soon be in the Oval Office. And if confirmed, his nominees will be in top jobs across government, raising questions about the future of the Me Too movement. Deborah Turkheimer is a law professor at Northwestern University and the author of Credible: Why We Doubt Accusers and Protect Abusers. She joins me now. Deborah, thanks for joining. When the Me Too movement swept the country around 2017, it brought down giants of Hollywood, Silicon Valley, media, you name it. And it appeared to have changed society's expectations when it came to addressing sexual abuse or assault. But now we're seeing a second Trump administration being staffed with people accused of sexual misconduct. What signal does it send that these people may be filling some of the highest positions in government and leading the military or determining health policy?
Well, it sends a powerful signal that the work of the Me Too movement is woefully incomplete, that there's a lot of work left to be done. The movement made a lot of progress. It surfaced the commonality of abuse. It got us talking about abuse. And for several high profile men, there was accountability. But the structures of power that Me Too was taking aim at are still very much in place. And we've seen that, I think, with particular intensity in the last few weeks with the election of Donald Trump and then his selection of these men to fill his cabinet.
Some Republican senators have called the allegations against Pete Hegseth, the nominee for the Defense Department. They have called those allegations concerning. But the majority of Republicans have either been quiet or have dismissed those allegations as media reports. Why the insistence on confirming these picks, and why not choose other nominees?
Well, I think what's going on at some deeper level is a contest between competing worldviews around male sexual entitlement. And Donald Trump has been very clear. We can think back to the release of the Access Hollywood tape, and to his boast that he could do anything, to the finding of civil liability. And Donald Trump is elected. The public, at least the public that elected him, did not feel that any of this was important enough to be disqualifying. And he clearly feels enabled and emboldened to select individuals who face their own credible allegations, really by way of reinforcing the idea that men in power have a range of entitlements, including sexual entitlements, and that there will be no impunity for this kind of abuse.
What does the current political situation say about how the Me Too movement is viewed right now? Is this a setback? Are the changes that movement ushered in jeopardy at all?
Well, I think that the movement has been facing a backlash for some time, and we've seen various indications of that. Certainly, the election of Donald Trump is another indication of some backlash. But the movement, it will move forward. I think that the movement came about in part because of Donald Trump's boast on that Access Hollywood tape, and then his subsequent election, and a sense on the part of so many survivors that it was time to end the impunity that men who abuse have enjoyed for so long. So this is a long pendulum swinging back and forth that we're seeing. And there's no reason to believe that this is where the pendulum stops swinging.
It's not just Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, or RFK Jr. Two other people Trump has named to his administration are facing allegations. Elon Musk and SpaceX were sued by former employees for creating a workplace that they said treated women as sexual objects. And then Linda McMahon, the nominee for Secretary of Education, is facing allegations of covering up sexual abuse toward children from her time at the WWE. So what does this say about how those in power handle allegations and abuse, and how they may run the departments that they're being nominated for?
Well, the amount of abuse that goes on in our society goes on because there are structures that tolerate it. And so the examples that you cite are illustrations of this. And it is absolutely a powerful and frankly devastating message to survivors and those who care about them when individuals are heading departments that are charged with ferreting out just this kind of abuse. And those individuals have themselves run afoul of these rules and norms that the Me Too movement is trying to promote and trying to reinforce.
Deborah Turkheimer, thank you for your time.
Thank you.